Good morning, friends. I have been asked by a couple of people to have a little bit of a walking tour around my evolving garden, and I am so happy to be able to do that for you. Ultimately, I would love those who are interested to get in touch and come and see it for yourself, because that way we can really walk through it. And it's a work in progress. It's always evolving, and I am very excited about how it has all come together over the last 5 years, especially so within the last couple of years, because I think I've been able to give it my time and attention, and I've had the space to be able to do it emotionally, and also I have the physical space too, so that's super cool. Anyhow, without much further ado, I am going to walk you through and we'll go from there. So here we got the flower bed that's right beside the driveway. This is probably one of the first ones I put in. I admit it's the one that I probably ignored for the longest time, but it seems to have grown into what it is. Springtime, we've got the irises that are going. There's also some mini purple irises that are just stunning when they are blossoming. The irises here, the white ones are done. There's some phlox, and we've got this little path here. This little spot has been evolving over the last 5 years, as I said, since it was first put in. And there's a row of sedums. You can see them. There's 4 in a row here. And I've been working with putting things in between. The daylilies are happiest here. This is a very full sunny spot. There's a lot of good drainage here. We're on a slope and there's a lot of gravel underneath here. So I don't know what those are called. I can't remember. They grow really tall and they've got beautiful yellow flowers. They multiply like crazy, but they sit nice in a beautiful hollow spot, and especially where you need to have some things covered up. So we've got the hydropole here, which is, it's happy. We've got some black-eyed Susans that are growing up in between behind the sedums and behind the lilies. And then out front here, I have transferred a whole bunch of hostas to kind of border and go up the curve. The grass is just absolutely growing. It needs cut. Anyway, everything's been transferred and moved. I've transferred some irises here. There's a beautiful rose of Sharon. I believe this is a white one. I got a piece of it from my mother-in-law. And it just kind of continues up. So obviously this garden is maturing, and it has evolved into the lushness that it is today. I did in the fall, I'm sure those of you who have been following me, I did in the fall plant a whole bunch of different varieties of tulips, and those tulips were stunning this year. Absolutely gorgeous. Clearly, the daylilies love their spots here. I have a Japanese maple who, in its first couple of years, was attacked by rabbits. So he's a little more dwarf than I'd like than my other Japanese maple, but he seems to be happy and doing well now. And these hostas, so we've got a white variegated hosta here. And then as we come up the hill, we've got more of a dwarf leaf type hosta that's lining up. I can't wait for these guys to mature and to spread their wings and do their stuff. And the purple flowers on them, like, that's just going to be stunning once it's all, 'tis the season. So we got some creeping stuff that I'm not sure if I like where it is, but we're going to move along with that. And obviously Miss Lavender, she is just so happy there. I can smell her from here. You can smell her from 20 feet away. And she's just coming out, just enjoying. Obviously, the morning light here is wonderful, so we're just taking advantage of it. So I'm gonna move along here. So last year, we were supposed to go to Europe. It didn't happen because of COVID. Damn COVID. So we decided that we'd put in a path along the front. Those of you who've been here know that this was a gravel patch. Always had some intention of doing something, but hadn't really decided on what to do. So last year was the year, and I love natural. I like concrete because it's sturdy and easy, but I also do like natural. So we chose to do an exposed aggregate here with a kind of a cinnamon, or I can't remember what it's called, cinnamon type of dye in it. So I got my few annuals. I don't do a lot of annuals. I find them to be high maintenance. It's funny. I have a perennial garden that requires cutting and attention, yet I can't deal with annuals. But anyway, so along this path, this has been something that has been evolving over time. 2 years ago, added a flower or a path, a border, I should say, sorry, along the path. And it is full of hostas, some white or some light green broad-leafed hostas, which do prefer more shade and a little bit more of an acidic soil. So they're just adjusting here. I am confident that as they mature, they'll sit a little bit better. But as you can see, the tulips that are here, I haven't popped up the seed heads. I decided to try it and see what it's like to do that this year, and then we'll decide next year whether or not I pop them off. But anyway, so this is a beautiful, it gets morning sun in here, and then in the afternoon it is shade. So this is a very lovely spot to walk in the morning. So we've got the boxwood. Boxwoods, I've had these in for about 6 years, and they're not very happy here. So see how they've kind of died off a little bit at the bottom? If anybody has a suggestion on what I should do here, just send me a message or whatever. But I'm not totally happy with them. So if they continue to do that, I might rip them out this fall and put something else pretty in there. So I got the broadleafed hostas. I can't believe how they're coming out already. It's amazing. And then, so I try to do things in color patterns. So this is the hostas here. You see you've got the same variety of hostas, kind of 3 in a row. I've transplanted some of the dwarf irises, so they will grow and evolve, and evolve seems to be the word of the day. Anyhow, so there's also, I've got the 9 bark back here. In behind, I have some Annabelle hydrangeas, so they will grow nice and tall and be full of these beautiful balloon bulb type flowers. For those of you who know the Annabelles, they're just stunning, and I can't wait to see them, and you'll be able to see them from the road too. So, and then we've got a hardy hydrangea, so that's more of like a burning bush type. It is very pretty. Obviously I'm going to say everything's very pretty because it all is to me. And then we've got these lovely cedars. I can't remember which variety they are, but I want to say an emerald. Could be wrong. And then we keep going. Got some tall grasses in between. I'm not a huge fan of how they are. I think they're out, the cedars are kind of outgrowing, so I think I might have to move them or do something with them different. I'm actually not a huge fan of grass. I don't know why. I'll figure that one out. And then we've got in between the two, in between the middle of the garage, is the smoke bush. The smoke bush was beautiful last year. Beautiful, nice and big. It was halfway up to the window ledge there. And then this spring, it didn't blossom. It just totally died. So I noticed that it was coming out at the bottom. So I cut off the whole dead tree, and that's just what's come up since. So there's life in it yet, and we'll just see what happens. Smoke bush have some really cool, beautiful flowers that look like smoke, hence the fact that it's called a smoke bush. I could stop, and this video will last all day, but anyway. And we've got my Japanese maple. She is just so pretty. I got this from Mom and Dad when this flower bed was put in, and it was just a wee little thing that I thought, oh dear, but it just fits so perfectly in this spot. And the goal is eventually to, as you're walking along this path, to be able to walk under it. So I'm very excited. Okay, so I've got some more hydrangeas in the back. I've planted some ferns, got the ferns from the bush. Another beautiful broadleaf hosta, and it's kind of a dark blue color. It loves this spot, so I don't know what's going on with that one leaf, but and anyway, everything around here has moved. I'm not totally satisfied with what's happening in here, so we'll see and adjust and see if there's any more shrubs. I usually like to buy a lot of things in the fall that are kind of on sale. But anyway, got some peonies in here. There's a Weigelia. She's not really happy here. Well, I shouldn't say that too quickly because she is flowering, but not as she could. This is her third spring here. So I have a feeling I need to move her. She's not very happy. So anyway, we've come to this point. I've got my 2 big planters. I've got to paint them, but they've done very, very well. And so these are, so flanking the front here, steps are coming. We're going to get some stone steps. And flanking, we've got on either side some peonies and a Bridal Veil Spirea, which if you scroll back into my Instagram, you'll see that this was in her glory a couple of weeks ago. Stunning. And they get nice and big and they just drape. So it'll be about as high as the screen here is, as you see, and it will just drape with beautiful, beautiful white blossoms. Stunning. Again, another Annabelle hydrangea. So the idea is that you'll see at different points in the background, you'll see these beautiful white bulbs of white flowers. So, and a different perspective. Gotta love the mornings. So here are my planters, annuals. Again, I don't really like annuals because I find them a lot of work. But I've made my life a little bit easier this year. Thanks to Nathan for his support and his help. We have installed some drip irrigation. Yeah, no more worrying about whether or not they're watered. So again, evolving. Eventually, I'd like to put some more gardens here. There's a magnolia sitting at my parents' house waiting for me to come get in the fall. It's not happy over there in its spot, so Dad offered it up. So this is where it's going, right here, smack dab in the middle. And then I'll obviously put flower beds around it, and then there'll be a little path that leads to the back. So you come off of the main path here, and you go back. So this has been, and I can't remember what these are called. I think they're a type of privet. I could be wrong. Somebody could let me know. That'd be great. I love them, and they smell so beautiful right now. Just stunning. Some of these plants, I got them in the fall when they were on sale. Didn't know what they'd look like, but especially these silver things, I'm really bad for not keeping tags. And I usually only get to know the name of a plant after I look at it and decide to look it up later. So I've got some triple lilies and some plants that I've gotten for some friends. Yeah. There's a barberry bush. For those of you who have barberries and don't know much about them, I was told that years and years ago, these plants would create rust in the wheat fields, and people didn't plant them anymore. So it wasn't until recently that they developed a hybrid that doesn't do that to wheat. It is beautiful. And this one has done very well in this spot. Look at the new offshoots coming. Like, it's so happy. More coming. These are peonies. We've got some hydrangeas. This is an afternoon, late afternoon light in here. This spirea is so happy. I might cut her back just a bit just to give everything else a little bit room, and that kind of way it kind of grows in sync with everything else. I'll cut it back in the fall. No, wait. I'm going to look into when I'm supposed to cut that back. So this emerald cedar has been here for 6 years now. Very happy. She's a nice corner staple. Looks very nice from the road. I've been toying with what to put around. So the tulips again are kind of getting their sunlight to support the bulb. until they finally decide to die off. But I've put some sedums here. It is a nice sunny spot for sedums, but we'll see. I'm not sure yet. Got some new stuff growing, new stuff planted. I planted some English daisy bells that I grew from seed. We'll see what those do over the years as they grow and mature. This is a burning hydrangea that I cut from a cutting. I grew from a cutting, I guess is what I should say. Mom and Dad have one of these or a few of these at their place, so I cut one, and it is just, I'm proud of how far it's come. So this plant is probably about 8 years old, and I planted it, like it had been sitting in a pot for a long time, and it's just coming out now. He was probably in a pot for 2 years, 2 or 3 years, and then I decided to plant him, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I'm pretty proud of how this has happened. Got a lovely little hosta that's hanging out. This Rose of Sharon has been my glory for the last few years, except for this spring. What happened here, I don't know. I'm a little disappointed. I got this from a friend. It was a full-grown bush. I don't know how old it was when I got it, and just on a whim decided to plant it, see if it would hold out, and it did. So I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe I'll cut it out this fall and try to reshape it, but anyway, Rose of Sharons are very hardy, and they love this zone 5. They love being here, and this seems to be a good spot for it, so we'll see what happens. Back here, this has always been a trouble spot for me. We got a 9 bark. I finally found something that could grow back in here, that could make space and fill it with a beautiful contrast color. So we've got the 9 bark back in here. Had a hard time starting. She's doing good now. The peonies have kind of taken over in front, which is okay. Miss Phlox back there, the long phlox, she does like it. She's a white flowered phlox. I think I've always had a little trouble with phlox. I got phlox in another part of the garden, but we have another spirea. I got the deck. And last year I planted a couple privets, flanking the planter boxes that our friend Peter built for us. And I put some hollyhocks back here, so that should create some beautiful color that you can see from the road that will kind of fill in this space. Again, put some irrigation in. Tried it last night. We finally got the final parts. We tried it last night, and boom, it worked great. So no longer have to worry about this flower bed. This vegetable garden. Those of you who know me know I don't do veggies very much, and the reason is that I find for the time and attention it takes to care for them, I can go over to the Amish and get it pretty reasonable, and the quality is always pretty good too. So, but this year I thought, no, I have these raised beds that were built for me, and there's a few things that I like to have handy. Obviously the little tomatoes and the cherry tomatoes. Dill is always something lovely in a summer cucumber salad. There's a couple of melons that seem to have grown out, I'm assuming because I threw them out in the wintertime and the seeds came here and went, I kind of like it here. Got some kale. Usually not a big kale eater. We've got tomatoes. We've got some cilantro. I gotta figure out how to actually grow these because it doesn't look the most content. Where are you? There you are. Obviously some lettuce. We're going to be enjoying some of that today. There's some basil, and we got some jalapenos. We've got some broccoli and a few cucumbers, and then we've got the other privet. And then we come to this side. This is a work in progress. I have some ideas for how this is going to be landscaped. I do want to get rid of this grass and put some kind of path from the deck down into here. So I've got some sedums in the leaves there, in the rhubarb leaves. My Nathan's aunt and uncle gave us some of these beautiful beard tongues. They're stunning. And the hosta, I'm not sure if he totally loves it here. Like he's pretty big and pretty happy, but he can get pretty burnt when the sun, this is a very direct sun spot. So, but he does need split in the fall. This is a beautiful double, there's a blue and a green and a white variegation in there. And it's so pretty, especially in early spring when it just starts to come out. And this is my hosta nursery. Obviously with my clematis. Hey, Sam. Hey, bud. How are you? Good. So the clematis, these guys have done lovely here for years. Those of you who follow me know that that has been a pride and joy for me, these. There's a hydrangea that's growing up. I got this from, I guess, from my mother-in-law, a piece. And it's very happy here. So this is my hosta nursery. This is the place where the hostas live when I'm not sure what to do with them and where to put them. I got some Maggie plant back here, and there's some hellebore that I just discovered this year. And I can't wait. It's a Lenten rose, so it comes out in about March, April, and beautiful flowers. So anyway, I've got a couple of them that I picked up. There's a massive white Gelia that I'm not totally happy with. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her. She's an old one that I got from a friend. But I'm just not sure. And I don't think that this, I mean, she's happy. Like, that's a pretty spot here, but I don't know if I want her here. So, but anyway, I'll figure that one out. We got Miss Rose, who's very, very happy. And then we've got my rose cutting that is now happily sitting in behind, waiting for her turn to get planted. Probably, I'm not sure when I'll plant her. I got to look into that a little bit more. So we got a butterfly bush right here that's going to grow nice and big in this space. And coming back, this is also a nursery spot. Our poor pear tree is on her way out. Whoops, sorry. Last year she got a blight, and this year her leaves are just not happy. So we're not really sure what to do. I have a feeling she's gonna have to get cut. So something else is gonna happen right here, but that I don't know yet. And then we come to the southeast side of the house. And here's a hosta border. A walkway is going to come here at some point. I do want to put a hedge of some kind right here between this flower bed and that one. Not sure yet exactly what it's going to be. I'm not sure, but I'm loving it. Put a new flower bed back in the corner. I guess I should walk back there. It's a beautiful morning. Oh, what a great morning to be out there with your coffee. Excuse me. All right. Uh-oh, somebody's been digging in here. This flower bed was put in this spring. Yep. And some of this stuff I got from Nate's aunt and uncle. I also got there's some zebra grass in here, which I'm interested. There's a whole bunch of hollyhocks I put in the back. There's some lilies, beard tongue. There's some butterfly bush butterfly weed that's out here that's growing. This is all really, immature is the wrong word, but very new plants. I'm so excited to watch this evolve. I do need to do some weeding, but what fun is a garden if you don't weed? So, yeah. All right, moving on. Our cherry tree is happily growing. I think we need to get some, by the looks of the ground, we're gonna have to get some pie plates out and hang them on the tree to make some noise to keep the birds away, because it is just full. Look at that. Amazing. All right, coming to the kid zone. Look at this morning. Look at this morning. It is just stunning. Oh, that morning light. So now we come to my 2021 Pride and Joy. Right here. So I have to finish this off yet. There's a butterfly plant coming in here. I gotta edge it, gotta dig it, gotta plant it, and then gotta put some mulch, more mulch in. So I've had a vision. I really should just have another video on this one. So bear with me. I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna get another one going on this one. Here it is. This has been my work this year. Nathan has been an amazing help and support, and you know, I've got big ideas and I go big or I go home. So clearly I'm home, so I may as well do big and be at home at the same time. So this is newly planted, newly created. For those of you who've been here before, this was grass before. This whole area was grass. Last year we put in the sandbox for the kiddos, but this was all grass. There's a massive spruce tree here. So you know, grass isn't very awesome down here. No matter what you fertilize it, it isn't the nicest. The soil is very acidic. So, you know, trying to accommodate and work with what we've got. So, yeah, this is the path we put in, dug it out, leveled it out, put sand, stone, worked with some friends, Paul Vandermolen over at Lawnmaster. He's amazing. So under here, I don't know what those are called, but they're really happy under there. So I'm gonna keep them going. This is their first year in there. They've popped up. I've planted some ferns from the bush. We've got some other little edging stuff. As you can see, I need to weed in here, but that's okay. This garden is very young, obviously. So as the years go, she will fill up and she will be very, very beautiful. So there's not a whole lot to really say, wow, at this point. But I'm excited, and I can see, I can visualize what it's going to be like when it's full. So I've gotten a lot of beautiful plants, a lot of shade plants from my friend Alicia. Thank you so much, Alicia. Shout out to you. I have spent some dollars locally. Woohoo! Shop local. Birch Creek greenhouses. We've also at Greyhaven, a few other spots. So, you know, there's some spirea. We've got some boxwood. There's some hostas, new hostas. We've got some Japanese grass. Oh, there's some ground creepers. I've got some catmint growing up. I think that's an annual. I can't decide. I decided, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. And if it doesn't come back next year, then, you know, not the catmint. No. Oh, well, I can't remember. Oh, sorry, the chamomile, not the catmint. Catmint will come back. It's the chamomile. But if it doesn't come back, then so be it. So got some more here. Got my pedestals, planters. I've always wanted to do something with them. I thought this year I'm going to do it. Again, we've got some drainage hooked up in here to give these new plants a chance at life. Or not drainage, sorry. You can tell I work in municipal government. Some irrigation. So there's some water lines that we've put in to help give our plants a drink. So anyhow, this is all going to get filled in. This is just, there's lots going on here, lots of different varieties. I admit I don't have the names of all of them in my head because they haven't been in my company long enough yet for me to know them all. Hey, Sam. Hey, bud. Oh, there's some coral bells. We've got some ground creepers. Oh, look at this morning light just coming in. There's some lavender. We've got some more beard tongue. There's some phlox in around, which is just going to be beautiful. And there's the well, which I'm trying to figure out how to make pretty. So there's a fountain in there. We got some Russian sage back here, and Sam's helping me weed. That's going to happen today. The alliums were stunning. They love this spot, and there's all kinds of new things that as the years go, this will just be filled up. And I have to tell you that my vision for this space was created many years ago from my aunts and uncles' places in Europe. The place where my dad grew up, the front yard was just a big garden with pathways that just went through it. Don't tell my husband, but I got big plans. Thank you so much, everybody, for paying attention this morning. I am excited to share with you. Things are evolving and moving. Evolving, again, it's the word of the day. I don't know, word of the month, word of the year. Growing, COVID hair, don't care. It's been the theme of the last couple of years. So I'm excited to take you on this journey with me to watch how this all evolves. Anyway, have a great day.